Hey, let's get rolling here today. I know everyone's got a lot going on and had a report today, so we're just going to get to these numbers right away. When we get to the stocks number, I think this is the thing we got to recognize is both the corn and soybean stock numbers were below trade estimates. Part of the reason why in here right now is that we've seen strong cash basis levels in here. We've seen bull spreading in the market. There's a little bit different story between the two of them, though. When you look at the corn stocks, it's probably the increased feed usage. We should see those feed numbers increase on the next supply demand report to bring down the carryout slightly. When we get over to the bean side of it, since you can measure the crush and the exports pretty good, this lower stocks figure is telling us that the 2022 crop may have been overstated a little bit. This bean situation could get tight towards the end of the year, especially with such strong crushing margins. I think that's something you got to keep an eye on. Wheat figure at 946 million bushels was really just a non-event. Now let's get over to the acreage side of it. And this figure in front of us here is similar to our report or our webinar earlier in the week. And we have these actual numbers over there where corn at 92 million acres, beans at 87 and a half, wheat at 49. The bean number was a little bit below expectations. The corn number a little bit higher than expectations in here right now. We think the thing is, we look at the bottom when we put the prevent plant acres in. A year ago, we had 6.4 million acres. This year we just kind of put, hey, zero in there for right now. And we're up to a total of 229.4 million acres. That's a pretty good increase in here right now when you look at the acreage. The one thing, though, as we look at this next slide that we did not have in here on Tuesday's webinars, we wanted to put cotton sorghum acreage in on the bottom because cotton acres are off 2.5 million. So we can get a pickup in acreage in here, down south, moving over to corn and soybeans. But in order to get our total acreage between corn, soybeans, wheat, cotton, and sorghum, and we need to put prevent plant in there as well to match what we did a year ago, our prevent plant acres need to drop from 6.4 million acres last year down to 1.6 million this year. We need a pretty good spring in here, for that to occur. As you take a look, and we want to wrap things up in here today, we think that this report puts some support underneath this market. Corn and bean stocks are going to be relatively tight as we move to the end of the year. If I'm an end user, this is telling me, hey, I should get my physical needs locked up. If I want to turn bearish at some point down the road, I can always go to the board. But we could see some firmer basis swings or wild basis swings as we move towards the end of the year. This bean stock number, when you remember our ending carryouts, 210 million bushels, we just lost 50 million. We're tightening up this bean situation in here. That's going to add a little bit of premium to this market and add some volatility in here as well as we start trading weather. Spring wheat acres, you want to just quick hit on that, or forecasted to only drop 200,000 acres, as a lot of that's getting switched over to durum. Now, as we look ahead, what are we going to see on some potential acreage changes? What really caught our eye is the northern plains. You've got North Dakota, Minnesota, South Dakota. Their combined corn acres are going to increase about 1.3 million acres from a year ago. The big jump is on the North Dakota side of it. We just question in here at the end of the month, there's a lot of areas up there that have got more than 3 feet of snow on the ground. Is this weather going to change fast enough for them to get out there and get this crop planted? Or do those acres get trimmed back? Our bias right now is that we're going to hold these current ranges. We think 550 is really good support on D's corn. 1250 probably won't be visited on November soybeans. $13 is a support area as well. And if you get over to spring wheat, you got September spring wheat traded today or closed today just below $9. It hasn't been above $9 since December. I think you got to put a little firmer undertone to these markets in here right now. Wheat may be the upside leader, okay, especially spring wheat. And we actually think that beans could have a little bit more gas in the tank in here right now as well, too. For new crop corn, we would target that 590 to 610 area to get some sales on the books. It's all weather right now as we move ahead. We're going to find some guys heading to the field in here this next week, and the next person is going to be still plowing snow. Hey, look towards our report this afternoon. Any questions or suggestions for upcoming webinars, let us know. Have a great weekend. And go Iowa basketball team. I think this Caitlin Clark story is one of the best things that's ever happened in sports. I know everyone in Iowa is cheering her on. Have a great weekend.